Terminal 2, Mumbai Airport, with my son Aryan means that we are embarking on another adventure. Only when one knows the past will one be able to chart the future course of life. We had made previous trips to other places steeped in history, like Italy, Turkey, the two seats of Roman Empire, and in our own backyard, the holy city of Varanasi, the city that's been there forever. Oh, not to forget London, where most of the Indian and Egyptian artifacts reside in their museums, bringing them revenue to exit Brexit, of course. My brother, his wife and daughter had taken the help of Amir Sadiq, an Egyptologist, during their trip to Egypt. And on this recommendation, I contacted Amir.
Hi, my name is Amir, an Egyptian Egyptologist. Welcome to Egypt and let me open the doors of Egypt for you.
My aim was to not just explore the antiquity of Egypt, but to see the Greek influence in Alexandria, the Ottomans' influence in Cairo, and of course the Coptic churches. Based on my brief, Amir sent me a detailed itinerary of a 10-day trip. He even took care of our local transportation. And upon his recommendation, we did our hotel booking via the internet. This advice from him saved us a lot of money. On arrival at Cairo airport, Amir Sadiq received us.
We have our own fleet of cars with our own reliable private drivers that will take you to everywhere in Egypt safely in comfort. Take your cold water.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Our hotel at the Giza was the Le Méridien, which is situated right across the pyramids. Our room overlooked the pyramids. What a spectacular view!
So the sound and light show at the Pyramid Giza. Sound and light show started like more than 30 years ago in Egypt. Day 2 was a lovely family of Hashim. We visited the great pyramids of Giza, Cheops, Khafre, and Mykerinos. The Giza Plateau that's located at the west side of Cairo houses one of the 7 wonders of the old world.
At 481 feet, the Great Pyramid stood as the tallest man-made structure for over 3,800 years, till 1311 when the Lincoln Cathedral was built in England. Jesus, that's a tall order. Saqqara used to be an ancient burial ground for the Egyptian capital, Memphis. Around 3100 BC, the burial places used to be called as mastabas, meaning mud benches. The step pyramid and the bent pyramids became the experimental steps towards the smooth-edged pyramids. It is said that midway through the construction of the bent pyramid, they realized the structure will not be able to hold up because of the miscalculation in the angle of the pyramid. The angle was changed halfway, resulting in the present bent structure, and that's why they have made mathematics compulsory in today's school.
The ancient Egyptians believed in the afterlife, and they believed that their tomb where they will live in the afterlife is the palace afterlife. So the building should be designed to last forever, and it did last forever.
We flew to Aswan to visit the Philae Island and the High Dam across the Nile. We took a cruise along the Great River. The High Dam, completed in 1970, had phenomenally improved the lives of millions who were dependent on the river for agriculture and livelihood. Unfortunately, drowning a lot of ancient structures.
Very long. We're talking about 111 meters high. So the height of it at the very bottom is 911 meters. So it's almost a kilometer.
Along the Nile, we stopped at many monuments from various eras, extending from the pharaohs to the Caesars. We also stopped at a Nubian village. Nubians were considered a strong cavalry force, and many of the pharaohs were of Nubian descent. That ended with Ptolemy, who was a general in Alexander's army. Early morning the next day, we drove to Abu Simbel. These structures were carved out of the mountainside in the 13th century BC. They lay buried in sand till being discovered in 1813. It is an architectural marvel. From 1964 to 1968, it was relocated to a higher ground. This relocation is said to be one of the greatest challenges of modern archaeological engineering. You must go and experience it, and hopefully, Amir is your guide. We visited the Kom Ombo and Edfu complex. They are unique because it is a single temple complex built for two different gods. It is built in an atypical symmetric arrangement. The temples were built for Horus and Hathor. They are dated from 240 BC to the 50th BC. The hieroglyphic carvings provide a detailed information of the culture, religion, and politics of those times.
I will make the hieroglyphics on the walls comes alive to you, and then you will start visualizing the ancient Egyptian history.
I have to take the words of my Egyptologist on the translations, because for me, it was beautiful artwork. The Dendara temple is said to have been inhabited since prehistoric times. The first records exist from 2250 BC. We saw the widely known relief, the Dendara zodiac. This place was abundant with vibrant and colorful paintings from antiquity. And by God, it was bloody impressive.
Let me show you the mystery of Egypt now. All of it decorated with hieroglyphics. Windows to give you light, so the stairs does not lift like this. Cleopatra came to the south twice, by the way, in a Nile cruise with Julius Caesar, and she got pregnant from him from in that time, although she was married. She's half Syrian, half Greek. Cleopatra played a lot of games in the history of Egypt, and she used her feminine to get what she wants. She contained the heart of Julius Caesar, and she made him marry her, not acceptable by the Romans, that made them kill him in the Senato inside.
Karnak means the fortified village. This is said to be the second most visited site in Egypt after the Giza pyramids. Here we saw a 50,000 square feet hall with 134 massive columns, some of which were 21 meters tall and 3 meters wide. And how on earth did they make it? Because even today it's an engineering marvel, and I don't think it can still be achieved with the present advanced technology. The next day, Amir took us to the Valley of Kings.
And this is the Valley of the Kings.
Yes, the very famous Valley of Kings. And from this site, Tutankhamun's burial chamber was discovered in all its ancient glory. This valley was the burial site for many pharaohs, and God only knows how many more burial sites are intact. You will see many archaeologists still excavating in this hot desert landscape.
And that's Queen Hatshepsut temple, the best one, the only one of the queens that ruled Egypt in ancient days. And she carved out this temple within the rocks. Looks like three terraces, as you can see, on top of each other. There is nothing to see inside, just the outlook is just perfect, by the way.
For the sunset, we went to the Memnon Colossi. It was built in 1350 BC. The original function was to stand guard at the entrance of Amenhotep's memorial temple. In 27 BC, a major earthquake shattered the northern Colossus, which the Romans restored later.
Welcome to Luxor.
Yeah, thank you, Amir. Unlike the other temples dedicated to a god or a pharaoh in death, the Luxor temple, built around 1400 BC, was built for the rejuvenation of kingship. Alexander is said to have been crowned here, right, Amir?
For Ramesses II, the great king that ruled Egypt for 67 years, as I mentioned earlier.
I guess Ramses is more important than Alexander. 6 shrines which serve as way stations of the gods were set up on the avenue between Karnak and the Luxor temple.
There used to be 2 obelisks, by the way, one here and one on the other side. The other side obelisk is now in La Place de la Concorde in France.
Amir had made an amazing suggestion which I doubted initially, that we should travel by train from Luxor to Cairo. This way we could see the huge influence of Nile in Egypt. Our train journey was a memorable one, as we had an amazing insight of the Egyptian landscape. Thank you, Amir. From Cairo, we were driven down to Alexandria by car. We had Zainab as a guide from Amir's team.
Hello guys, I'm Zainab, the tour guide, and today I'm going to show you the amazing city of Alexandria.
We visited the catacombs in Alexandria. This is considered as one of the 7 wonders of the Middle Ages. It was used as a burial ground from 4 AD. It consists of 3 levels cut through solid rock, of which the 3rd level now is completely underwater. This place is strewn with statues and archaeological objects. I wish I could have bought some for the Mumbai Museum. The Qutb citadel of Alexandria was an important defensive stronghold along the Mediterranean coast. Qutb was a slave who later became a sultan and ruled for 29 years. He was fond of art and architecture and built more than 70 structures spread across the Mecca, Medina, Jerusalem and Egypt. Our last day in Cairo, we visited the Touloun Mosque, the famous Moy Street and the Coptic churches. Built in 879 AD, the Touloun Mosque is the oldest and the largest mosque surviving in Cairo. The mosque is situated on the hills of Thanksgiving. There is also a local legend that Noah's Ark came to rest here after the deluge. Okay, if you say so, I mean, dear historians. I was mesmerized with the Coptic churches, and I was lucky to see a sermon being conducted by a priest in all its ancient glory. Spending 10 days going back in time into one of the oldest civilizations of the past with the able guidance of Amir Sadiq was an experience that I will cherish forever. Meanwhile, my son was definitely illuminated with the Egyptian past. Totally impressed with Amir's stories, but wished he had a better companion and not his boring dad.